What is happening, guys? Martin is back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So guys, thank you very much for the comments, likes and subscriptions. Let's keep the channel going. The channel is continuing to grow, guys. I'm very tired right about now because I was traveling, as I did mention, and now I'm getting back to having a look at my fragrances. I had a touch of so I was able to test a few fragrances in the airport, and this is obviously one of the key ones right about now. So this is the Dior Homme 2020 version. So just to bring you in line with my thoughts on this one and what my position is, this is the original one, which I understand is actually probably, I think they're trying to take it off the shelves or take it away from being available. So the lady told me in the stores that actually they're not allowed to actually sell it anymore. You can still apparently get it online. This is a 50 ml of the original version, and say the original Dior Homme. Classic fragrance, guys. I think guys, if you can try and get a bottle of this one before it's totally taken off the shelves, I think you can still get it online, so go and check that out. But for this, what it is, guys, I'm going to give you a quick idea of what I think about the original version, obviously the new version. So the original version, for me, for those that know, you've got Valentino, you've got Zara's 9.0, which obviously is inspired by, with his key iris note in there, and obviously also this one to me as well smells slightly similar. This one is a bit of came a bit later down the line. This is Valentino or more intense, whereas this was the original version, which I believe came out in 2011. So just looking at the note breakdown for what fragrance I have to say for this particular version, top notes being, again, lavender, keynote obviously being this bergamot with a touch of this sage, mid notes being this iris note, which is really one of the prominent notes in there. It has some amber in the mids with also some cacao, and then in the base we have some patchouli and we have some leather, and we also have some vetiver. Now for me, this smells not necessarily gourmandish, but if they were to say there was white leather in there, I think that's a note that you'd pick up on straight away. Iris is a key note, and equally the cacao gives it this slightly more, how could I say, warming, soothing sort of smell to it, but it's not quite, as you say, gourmand along those lines. It does have this lipstick vibe, which people talk about all day long. For me, guys, when it comes to longevity, it's a little bit of a, can last for about up to probably about 2 hours maybe. This is okay for probably the office, but again, it gives off that lipstick vibe, which not everybody necessarily particularly likes. I believe with the top notes of that bergamot and everything else going on, that is there, but it doesn't necessarily last that long. For me, the dry down seems to be more the prominent notes. Obviously it's iris, bit of amber and cacao. That's what it seems to say to me. It's a nice fragrance, it's a pleasant one. Again, you can get this relatively cheap compared to, say, for instance, Dior Sauvage, which I think costs a little bit more. But for me, guys, it's not a bad fragrance at all. Go and check it out. But the reason why I want to make this comparison, this, however, seems to be slightly different. You can see I've got this one with some dust on it. I've not worn this for a while, but this one seems to be slightly different in respect of what it has. In respect of, I'm talking about this chocolate type of vibe to it, or the cacao vibe. And this one seems to be slightly heavier along those lines. I think it's a lot heavier with tonka bean in this one compared to this one, which I don't think has tonka, or if tonka is in it, it's a lot heavier in this one compared to the original Dior Homme. Again, in the base we have some vanilla according to Fragrantica, and also we have some maybe citric note in the tops, being probably mandarin orange. So I'm just spraying this actually. Yeah, so the two open slightly differently, but at the same time the dry down seems to be slightly along the same lines. I think they're either or. Personally, I'll probably go with Valentino or more, in my opinion, because I feel this one is slightly more rounded now. I feel it's slightly more for winter months. It's quite a nice one with the tonka bean in there, and again with the cacao gives it slightly more, say, this type of chocolatey sort of vibe. It's not bad at all. Both are equally as good, and it's obviously the original out there. Now, without further ado, now I don't want to get into too much of the debate as to what the new version is, but when I have smelt the new version, I had one spray of it, and to me, some YouTubers have already mentioned this, guys, but I have to say my point on it. To me, that version smells nothing like what this smells like. To me, it dissipated within less than 10 minutes. I was struggling to work out what the keynotes were. Just looking at Fragrantica, because again, I smelt it while I was in the store, and I just decided it's not even worth spending any time. it seems that they've taken away, again, people are mentioning it, they've taken away this iris note that you get in the original one. It says the top notes seem to have bergamot, pink pepper in there with some type of elamini, which I'm not sure what that is, patchouli, cedar wood, and some cashmere wood. And in the base, it's saying it has ISO E Super, it has Haitian vetiver, and some white musk. Now, I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this fragrance, the newer version that's come out. But for me, all I got was, some people said it smells like slightly more like a blue type of fragrance. Maybe it's like a Chanel type of shower gel vibe. To some extent, yes. I was thinking maybe it's coming from some sort of amber note, but I don't think amber's noted it on Fragrastica. But all I was left with, guys, with this ISO Super. So if you imagine, if you've never smelled this fragrance before, all it smells to me like is like a mishmash of different soft, light ingredients. Goes away, nothing more, and then you're left with this ISO Super smell, which is slightly like a ambergris type of smell. If you imagine Officer Men when you get the dry down, so once you get rid of all the fruity notes in the top notes, once you get to the dry down, you're left with this type of salty ambergris ISO Super sort of smell is effectively what I think was there, and a bit of this vetiver. And that was it. There was nothing else, guys. There was nothing to even think, let me go and purchase this one. Even the lady in the shop tried saying, oh yeah, we've not really had enough feedback on the newest version. Bullshit. They know that it was crap, and even the lady was said, but come and try out the original one. We don't sell it anymore, maybe go and try and get it online. And that said it all to me. It's just not a fragrance that's even worth it. I don't know why they've made this distinction or decided to put that one on the shelf and take away the older version. It doesn't really make any sense to me. They're two completely different fragrances. There's nothing to talk about with it. Waste of time, complete waste of time. I wouldn't recommend it whatsoever. If you're desperate to really get one, guys, I would say try and get it on discount if you're going to buy a new version. Again, try and get a bottle of this one, try and get a bottle of this one, or try and get maybe Zara 9.0, and I'll leave it there. Nothing more to say on it, guys. It's really disappointing. Waste of time. Ciao.